All right, someone has passed away and now it's time to sell their real estate. This is not a subject people like to talk about, yet it's something that we do need to talk about because it happens. What's up, everybody? This is BK. I'm going to bring you 3 things to think about when working with a deceased owner's estate. So, let's say Uncle Bob has passed away. He's got 20-acre farm, and there's 5 family members that are in the will to take this over. The big thing about this is the probate process and naming an executor to the estate. Okay, so sometimes it's spelled out very clearly in a will. Other times there's a lengthy court battle. The more family members, unfortunately, usually it's going to be the longer of a process. So through that process, we're going to establish who has the right to work with this estate, to make the decisions, okay? Those decisions are going to include paying off bills that the deceasee may have, or making the decisions upon the sale of the home. So working through the negotiations. I've worked from everything where one person is a representative of all 5 of the family members. I've worked where there's been a personal representative supplied by the court because there were so many members, I think 22 members of the family that was the biggest one that we had involved. That's actually the easiest way when we have a personal representative of a court, because then it's just clear cut who does what by when and for how much. The more people that start to get involved, the more opinions that we have, the muckier it typically gets. So if you're going through this and you have any decision to say, it is usually better if you've got someone in the family, maybe you're that person. If you just have one person that's in charge, or hire someone to be in charge of that. Okay, so now person has passed away. Uncle Bob has passed away. God rest his soul. And we've established that that our cousin Betsy is going to be the executor of the estate. So now Betsy has a lot to do because Bob had a bunch of pictures in the house of grandkids playing t-ball. Bob was also an avid collector of cuckoo clocks, and Bob didn't do the best of cleaning. Okay, so now Betsy's got to sell the house. What does she have in store for her? Well, first off, especially if it's a large family, best thing you could do is if everybody's getting along is to start getting rid of stuff to the family. And I don't mean to say getting rid, but to start dividing the stuff up amongst the family. Maybe someone wants the t-ball pictures back. There may be a few people that have a couple cuckoo clocks that they really remember from being a kid and they want that stuff. Definitely divide that out if possible. And again, that's going to go back to the executor and the estate and how all of that is set up. Once you've now got it down to where no one else wants anything in the house, you probably still have a bunch of stuff, some cooking stuff, couches, beds, that type of thing. I will say I encourage you not to get rid of too much. Talk to your real estate agent who's going to be listing that house for current market conditions. We've been in markets where it doesn't matter what the house looks like, it'll sell. And we've been in markets where you better have the absolute best thing possible for it to sell. But you may want to have some of this stuff for staging so that people can see what the rooms are used for or anything like that. Estate sales. So there are companies that come in and will do basically a large garage sale where they put up stuff for sale. Again, talk to them about your possibilities of keeping a couple pieces or maybe keeping those pieces and then consigning them afterwards, but come up with the plan for all this stuff. Next, we've got it on the market, and in a lot of the states, you've got to disclose what's wrong with the home. In North Idaho, if this is a transfer from a decedent's estate, you do have the right to say, hey, you know what? I don't know anything about the house. I've never lived in here. Obviously, if you know about problems, you have to disclose them. But check your local state. There's a lot of different rules out there. I'm not about to get my Twinkies in that twist, but you are going to be at one juncture in time answering questions about disclosures and what you need to know. And it's important for you up front to know what you need to know, or if you don't need to know anything. Hey, there's a lot that comes into being involved in a decedent's estate, including emotions. Okay, so the best thing that you can do is stop and breathe right up front. Just stop and breathe. All of these tips are not going to be helpful if you are completely just stressed out and worn out. Easier said than done, right? And that's why it's so important to have a great realtor or lawyer in your court to help you through this process, to get past that emotional state, right? Because that's what it is. It's an emotional state, and you're human. That's fine. Okay, allow yourself some leeway. Hey, if this has been helpful, man, I intend to keep putting out videos like this in the future, because there's lots of subjects that could be covered in real estate. Not everybody wants to face and talk about the tough stuff like death. So if this has been helpful, I would love it if you like my video. And I have tons of content coming out like this on a regular basis. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when the latest comes out. You ever want to get together and talk a little bit more real estate? I'm always here for a consultation. In the meantime, stay good. BK knows the way.